Hello everybody, I am back and ready to make some art with you this week. Happy Easter. I hope that you're still enjoying the Easter season. The Easter season is not over. It continues all the way until the Feast of Pentecost. So we are still very much in that Easter season right now. I've decided to do something a little different this week because we've been doing a lot of drawing activities. So I'm going to be trying to switch it up and give y'all something a little different to create at home. So stay tuned, and I hope that you enjoy this different style of art lesson, and I am excited to do art with you. Let's get started. All right, like I said, I want us to do something a little different this week. So I thought about teaching you how to create an artwork using some origami. So I'm going to teach you how to make these cute little origami sailboats and then show you a way that you can create a background so we can glue them down. So for this project, if you have some scrapbook paper, or if your mom has some scrapbook paper, that's easiest because it already has a design on both sides. So I just happen to have some at my house. So I had some that has one design on one side and a different design on the other side. If you do not have any paper like this, that is completely fine. What you can do is you can take a regular sheet of white paper like this and cut it into a square. Because we're going to be needing squares to make our origami. So what I did is I used a ruler and I measured 5 inches by 5 inches. So this is a 5-inch square. You can ask your parents maybe to help you measure that out and cut a square. And what you can do is, if you don't have any of that scrapbook paper at home, you can cut your square and pick a color that you want and color one side completely. And I'm going to go ahead and color this paper and show you what I'm talking about. All right, so as you can see, I went ahead and I colored one side of this square purple and the other side is still white. So we're gonna be using this to make one of our sailboats. And I made sure to color on top of a sheet of paper because I didn't want the color to get on the table. And I can use this as the back of the art that I'm going to create. So I'm just gonna flip this over and this will be my background later. So in order to make our origami sailboat, like I said, your paper has to be a square. So make sure that you are using a square piece of paper. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to make a triangle fold. So I'm going to turn mine into the shape of a diamond, and I want to fold this corner to meet this corner. So go ahead and do that first. And take your time. Try to get it as nicely measured up as you can. So even my square isn't perfect, so as perfect as you can. All right, and then unfold it. So here is my fold. So next what I want to do is I want to fold this side, so my point, and I want to fold it to meet this center line that I made. But I don't want to touch that center line. I want to leave a little bit of space. As you can see on this sailboat, you see how I left a little bit of space in the center so it looks like the mast or the wooden part that kind of holds the sail up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold this. So I'm going to fold this almost to the center. So you see how you can kind of see the fold right there? I'm going to fold it like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to fold this into that center. Sorry, it's kind of hard to do with one hand. There we go. Folded it down. And so you can see how I have a little bit of the center purple poking out. Okay. The last part about this fold is to fold this bottom corner to make our boat flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this paper over. And I'm just going to fold this little corner up. And then when I turn it back around, I have my sailboat. So here is my next sailboat. So we're just going to use 2 sailboats for this artwork. So here's one and here's my other one. So if you want to make more, that's fine, but I think that on our piece of paper, only 2 sailboats are really going to fit. All right, and then I have some other creative ways that we can make this art without having to draw a whole lot, just to be different because we've been doing a whole lot of drawing activities. But if you don't have these other items that I talk about, you can easily color this background with water and a nice little sun and glue these down to create a nice background. But I'm going to show you another creative way in case you have these materials at home. All right, so I have some colored paper at my house that I'm going to use to kind of create a collage for my background instead of just drawing and coloring. But like I said, if you don't have colored paper at your house, please don't feel pressured into doing it this way. I just wanted to give you a different way of creating art. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the blue paper to create some waves. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rip the paper into strips for my waves. All right, so I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to carefully rip some strips all the way down. And you see I'm kind of going up and then kind of tearing back down and up and then back down. So slowly tearing so that it kind of looks wavy like waves would be. So I'm going to do that with 2 more pieces. I'm going to make 2 more like that. So I'm going to do another rip. All right, there's 2 and 1 more. All right, then I'm gonna take my 3 pieces of paper that I ripped and I'm gonna take a white crayon. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of white to the edge of each one of these papers. So I'm gonna pick which side is gonna be the top of my wave. So maybe this side will be the top. So what I'm gonna do is right on the edge, I'm just gonna add some white to kind of make it look like the sea foam. I'm gonna do that on all 3 of these and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, so I'm gonna take my paper and I'm going to carefully rip some strips all the way down. And you see I'm kind of going up and then kind of tearing back down and up and then back down. So slowly tearing so that it kind of looks wavy like waves would be. So I'm going to do that with 2 more pieces. I'm going to make 2 more like that. So I'm going to do another rip. All right, there's 2 and 1 more. All right, then I'm gonna take my 3 pieces of paper that I ripped and I'm gonna take a white crayon. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of white to the edge of each one of these papers. So I'm gonna pick which side is gonna be the top of my wave. So maybe this side will be the top. So what I'm gonna do is right on the edge, I'm just gonna add some white to kind of make it look like the sea foam. I'm gonna do that on all 3 of these and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Finished putting my white on the tops of these. I'm gonna start with the one that has a straight edge and I'm gonna glue it to the bottom of my paper. So I'm just gonna get my glue stick. I'm just gonna add glue right at the bottom, not the whole thing, just that bottom edge of the paper. So see, I've just added it to that bottom edge and I'm gonna glue it down at the bottom of my paper. So you can see that you can still kind of reach in behind that wave, and you want that because we're gonna layer our water. So next I'm gonna take the next layer of water and I'm gonna do the same thing. I wanna make sure that my white edge is up and I'm gonna add just a strip of glue onto the bottom of that wave. So I'm gonna add some glue and I'm not gonna put it at the top. I'm gonna actually slide it behind this wave. So I'm going to slide it in and stick it down. So now I have 2 layers of waves. All right, now I'm going to do that with this last one, and I'm going to slip it in. So I'm just going to put glue right at the edge of this paper. Okay, so like I said, I only put glue right on that edge, and I'm going to tuck it behind this other wave. So I'm going to push it down, tucking it in, and then push it down. So here I've got my 3 waves. So next I want to put a sun in the background. So I'm going to use my yellow and my orange paper to create a half circle to create my sun. So I started by drawing my yellow half circle, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that out, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the orange, but I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than the yellow so that it comes out behind it. All right, so here is my yellow and my orange, and the trick is a lot of times you're not going to cut right on that line. So the trick is when you go to glue it, just turn it over, and then you won't see it when you glue it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on to my waves. I'm going to start by putting my orange first because it's the bigger one. So I'm going to flip it over because I don't want to see that edge where I drew. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to tuck it right beneath the water here. Tuck it in. That's why I didn't want to glue it all the way down. I'm going to put it to the side because I kind of want it to the side in my art. I don't want it perfectly. So that's where I'm going to put it. I don't want it in the center. I'm going to put it to the side, and then I'm going to do the same thing with my yellow, and I'm going to glue it and just tuck it right there to kind of look like the sun is setting. So let me glue that down. My sun glued down, so now it's time to pick spots to put our boats. So I'm going to take the boat that we made together, and I'm going to tuck it right underneath this front wave here and glue it down. So here's my boat here. So if you just want to do one boat, that's perfectly fine, because actually I think that's a really pretty image. I'm kind of worried about putting my second boat because it's probably going to cover up part of my sun. Let's see what happens. So let's see if I put my second boat right here. Well, that's not bad. So maybe I'll put my second boat where it's covering up a little bit of the sun. So, and look, it's kind of peeking up over the top. That's kind of fun. So there are my 2 boats. I'm going to glue those down, and then that will be it. So if you wanted to go back and maybe add some clouds, maybe some birds flying, maybe you want to put a couple little fish swimming in the water. But I just wanted to give you something different to do other than a little drawing lesson. I hope you enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun, and I hope that you share your art with me if you got a chance to work on it. Talk to y'all soon.